Welcome back to the coin world. Today, we dive into the fascinating tale of the 1952 Liberty 5-cent nickel, featuring the iconic Monticello design. At first glance, it may seem like just another old nickel, but beneath its worn surface lies a rich story of wartime aftermath, design legacy, and collector intrigue. The year was 1952. The United States was climbing out of the long shadows of World War II. Harry Truman was president, and the Korean War was raging overseas. Back home, Americans were experiencing a surge in economic prosperity. The nickel, just 5 cents, still held purchasing power. Before we examine the 1952 nickel, let's revisit its origins. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. Felix Schlag was German-American sculptor who won a competition to design the new nickel. Ironically, though his design won, the original Monticello image was altered by the mint for better clarity. Schlag's name wouldn't appear on the coin until 1966. Profile of Jefferson. Facing left, the 1952 Liberty nickel was minted in 3 locations. Each mint produced millions of coins, but there are key differences in rarity and condition. While not extremely rare in circulated condition, finding well-struck and circulated examples, especially full steps on Monticello, is much harder. The Monticello building has steps leading up to its entrance. If all 5 or 6 steps are clearly visible on the reverse, it's called full steps, a grading premium that can drastically raise the coin's value. Collectors seek high-grade examples, especially those with full steps. Circulated 1952 nickel may be worth only 10 to 50 cents, but an uncirculated MS65 plus full steps can reach $200 to $1,000, even more depending on the mint mark. The U.S. tested its first hydrogen bomb, the first ever. TV news magazine aired the Today Show on NBC. These moments were unfolding while 1952 nickels jingled in the pockets of Americans, double die obverse or reverse. These rare errors can boost values into the hundreds or even thousands depending on condition and demand. 1952 marked one of the final years the San Francisco Mint produced nickels before a long hiatus. It wouldn't mint business strike nickels again until 1968. That makes 1952's nickels a special part of minting history. By 1952, American coinage was a symbol of stability. While many world economies were recovering from war, U.S. coins like the Liberty nickel reflected prosperity and democracy. If you have a 1952 nickel, don't clean it. That lowers value. Store in acid-free holders or slabs. Look closely under magnification for full steps or errors. In today's market, the 1952 nickel remains popular among type collectors. High-grade and full-step varieties are increasingly sought after as fewer well-preserved examples survive. The choice of Thomas Jefferson for the nickel in 1938 wasn't random. Jefferson was not only the 3rd U.S. president, but also the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, a champion of democracy, and the founder of the University of Virginia. His image symbolized freedom, intellect, and civic responsibility, values resonating strongly in post-World War II America. Monticello, featured on the reverse of the nickel, wasn't just Jefferson's home. It was a symbol of enlightenment, architecture, and thought. Built on a hill in Charlottesville, Virginia, Monticello was designed by Jefferson himself. Its neoclassical design reflected ideals of balance, rationality, and liberty, making it a perfect backdrop for a coin circulating in democratic America. The U.S. Mint held a public competition in 1938 to replace the worn-out Buffalo nickel. Felix Schlag's design was selected for its clarity and elegance, though the mint did require modifications, particularly on the Monticello side. For practical minting purposes, it was one of the earliest major public design competitions for coinage, showing how the government sought to modernize national symbols. When the 1952 nickel was struck, the Korean War 1950–1953 was impacting U.S. military spending and global politics. The economy was booming, but inflation was rising. Coins like the nickel became even more crucial in daily transactions. Vending machines, phone booths, and buses. It was a coin of the common person, used, spent, and circulated during a time of global tension. The 5-cent piece was indispensable in the 1950s. It bought you a cup of coffee. You could get a scoop of ice cream. You could ride a city bus. Thus, the 1952 nickel was part of everyday American rhythm, carried in pockets, purses, and coin purses across all 48 states. In the 1950s, U.S. coinage was seen as a symbol of stability. Unlike paper, currency coins were less prone to inflation and damage, and they bore the enduring images of founding fathers and national monuments. The Jefferson nickel in particular communicated values of architecture, leadership, and Republican ideals. 1952 was a presidential election year. General Dwight D. Eisenhower, a World War II hero, was elected. His victory reflected America's desire for strength and calm leadership in uncertain times. Coins minted that year, like the 1952 nickel, were silently passing from hand to hand as new leadership was about to begin. During the 1950s, several coin designs were considered outdated. But the Jefferson nickel endured with little change until 2000. Why? Because it balanced aesthetic symbolism and practicality. It didn't have the wear issues of earlier nickels and had strong national representation. Interestingly, Felix Schlag didn't initially receive much fame or money from his winning design. He struggled financially during the Depression and lived a modest life. It wasn't until 1966 to 8 years after the coin's release that his initials, FS, were finally added to the nickel, acknowledging his artistic contribution.